class we have seen about the operators, different operators like the assignment, arithmetic operators in the comparison, assignment, logical, bitwise, membership, identity. So these two operators, remember these two operators are the most important, as we introduced these, Python introduces some set of new operators. That's how these two are much important compared to the rest, because you already know the rest of the operators, right? Yeah, now in today's class, we'll see about the precedence of the operators. So why should we understand, study the precedence of the operators, or what is the precedence of the operators?
Which operation has to be performed first?
Which operator has to be executed first? Say, for example, consider this expression. What do you mean by an expression? Expression means which involves more than, you know, one or more operators and operands. It's together. It's called as an expression. Here I have an expression 20 plus 4 into 10. So what is it evaluated to? Can you tell me 20 plus 4 into 10?
4 into 10.
60.
60, ma'am. 4 into 10, then 20 plus.
Yeah, 4 into 10. So those who know about the precedence, they can quickly say that it's 60. Maybe others can say 240, right? 20 plus 4 into 10. But this is a wrong answer. 60 is the correct answer. Because any programming language, it follows some precedence of the operators. So in an expression, if you have more than one operator, then which operator has to be executed first? Right? So to decide that, you should understand the precedence of the operators. Say, for example, here, this expression contains a plus operator and an asterisk multiplication operator. Then first, either the multiplication on these two operands has to be executed, or the plus operation on these has to be executed first. So that has to be decided. So who decides that? So every programming language, it has the precedence on the operators. So it suggests you which operators have to be executed next. Then, so the operators with the highest precedence, they will be executed first. Then after that, the operators with the next highest precedence, and it will be continued till all the operators in your expression are completed. So in this case, I have two operators, asterisk and the plus symbol, the multiplication and the plus symbol. So which is having the highest precedence? With your knowledge, you know, right? You know about this. Yeah. So the multiplication operation is having the highest precedence. So it has to be evaluated first. It results in 40, then plus 20. It results to 60. So that's how the correct answer is 60. So that's how you can use the operator precedence. And let's see the operator's precedence in Python. So this is the precedence that can be followed. So here you can observe I have given the highest precedence. So in Python, the highest precedence operator is the exponentiation operation. So if your expression, even if it contains any number of operators, so if there is an exponentiation operation, so that will be given the highest priority. And the next highest precedence will be given to the complement. The complement, then the unary plus and the unary minus. What do I mean by unary plus and unary minus?
Shorthand.
They're not shorthand, yeah. Shorthand are different. Shorthand or assignment, they are assignment operators. Say, for example,
Increment.
No, they are not increment. There's nothing like plus plus minus minus. We don't have that operators. Unary operators. Tell me, why do I call that as unary operator?
It performs on single operand.
Single operand, right? So how do you indicate -5? That's the unary operator, right? So maybe plus 10. Just to indicate the sign of the numbers. So we can use these plus and minus. So they are called as the unary plus and minus operators. They are not the arithmetic operators. That's why they are not binary. They are unary plus and minus, of course, a complement. So the next highest precedence is given to this. Simply you can see this. Yes, tell me. So maybe plus 5 plus minus 10. What do I mean by this? Can you tell me? 5 plus minus 10. Here also I have, multiple operators. But how do you treat this 10? 10 is a minus 10 or the
minus
plus
10?
10? Yeah. So to indicate this as a minus 10, maybe a more meaningful way is this. So now tell me, so even if I have the braces or without braces also, this is the unary minus, right? Is it not the unary minus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's how you can use the unary plus and unary minus to indicate the sign of the numbers. Then the next highest is the like arithmetic operators. Among the we have different arithmetic operators, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modular division, and the float division. But among them, so these four are having the next highest, the third precedence. Then the next to them is the plus, addition and subtraction of the values. The next highest precedence goes to the bitwise operators, that to the shift, left shift and the right shift operators. And the next one is the bitwise AND. Then comes the bitwise XOR and bitwise OR operators. Okay. So then the comparison operators, and among the comparison also less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. And the next precedence goes to equality operators, that is equal to, not equal to. So both not equal to operators. Then comes the assignment operators. So the single assignment, direct assignment, or the shorthand assignment also. So they comes next. And the next are the identity operators. What are the identity operators? What is the functionality of the identity operators? To check whether two variables are pointing to the same objects or not. So to check that, you can use the identity operators, or they're pointing to the same memory location or not. So to check that, you can use the is and is not operators. Then comes the next type of operators, in and not in. The membership operators, to check a value is available in a list or not, to check a character is available in a string or not. So to do that, you can use the in and not in. Fine. Yeah, next is the not, or the not or and. So what are these operators? Not or and. What are these operators? And or not?
Logical operators.
Logical operators. Yeah, logical operators. Why do you use these logical operators? To combine two or more relational operators, you can use the logical operators, right? So they have the least precedence. So this is the precedence table you need to remember coming to the Python programming language. And before proceeding further, let's see some of the points, the important points I observed. Maybe you can also have a note on them. So let's take this example, x equal to 2.1. So let's see what x value is. Then x equal to, yeah, now this is x is 2.1 plus 3.2. So what is x now?
3.3.
3.3.
5.3.
5.3. Yes, yes, fine, no problem. So now let's check x equal to 5.3. Is it true or false? What do you expect it to be?
True.
Or it results in false.
False.
Yeah, the very reason why.
Zero.
Why?
Adding that, it will get zeros, ma'am. But we have given 5.3 only.
Only zeros? So now, do you want me to compare it with 5.3000000?
No, not like that, ma'am. We cannot get that also. It will be false.
Then why? Yeah, so the internal representation would be different actually when you do the floating point addition and all. So it results in this kind of value. And this may not be applicable for all the values again. So this is also kind of, unpredictable. 4.5 plus 6.5. Now, can you guess what is the output? What is x value?
11.0.
Yeah, let's check with 11. It's true only, right? Even with 11.0 also, it's true only. Okay, so you should be a little careful while doing this, okay? So that is one good point to be noted. And you can even use, let me declare three values, x is 10, y is 20, and z is some 30. Now, if I want to compare whether z is the highest value or not, usually how do you do? The greatest among the three numbers I want to get. How do you do that? If you want to write a program, how do you do? I want to check the greatest among the three numbers.
A question mark B, bracket B greater than.
We don't have that operator. I have discussed all the operators. We don't have that shorthand operator, remember? Ternary operator is not available. Yeah, point to be noted is there is no plus plus, there is no minus minus. So x plus plus operator is not available. Okay, and x minus minus operator is also not available in Python. So those shorthand increment decrement operators, they are not available at all. Okay, remember that. So that cannot be
Greater than
done.
y greater than z.
Yeah, here let me repeat that. X equal to 10, y equal to 20, z equal to 30. I have these three numbers. I want to check, like you don't know the values also. If you want to write a program to check which number is, which variable is having the greatest number, how do you check that? How do you write the code?
X greater than Y
Then
and
x
X
greater
greater
than y
than
greater
Z,
than z.
return X is
If
greater.
yeah, you had to write the conditions, right? If x
If
greater than y, yeah,
Y
if x greater
and
than y, and then
X greater than Z,
x greater than z, then next continue.
X is
return
Continue.
X is highest.
That's all.
Again.
Okay.
Else
Otherwise,
Else
continue.
if
x is greater.
X is big. Okay. Then next.
elif y greater than x.
Yeah, elif you need to do, right? But simply you can do this. X less than y less than z. So you can compare, or if you want to check for the greater number, x greater than y greater than, simply there is no need of using AND operator. Okay. Greater than y greater than z. So directly you can compare three numbers also, even 10 numbers also you can compare, remember. So you can continue this to any, any number of values. A chain of comparison is possible in case of the comparison operators. It's not like C programming. Is it fine? A maximum, there's no function as such actually. Functions we'll discuss later, yeah, Vinay. Is that clear about the operators now? So we have discussed various operators. Maybe you can try solving these expressions and to check, to understand, about the precedence of the operators. Now let's jump on to the control structures. So why do we need control structures? Can anyone tell? Why do we really need to have control structures?
Control the flow of the statements in the program.
Yeah, control the flow of the execution in your program. So what is the default flow of execution? Let me explain that. So say for example, I have this, okay, these statements always, print with print, there is a open close brace, otherwise it throws an error. Yeah. So now assume these are the four set of statements I have in my program. So how the program executes? So it starts at the first line, right? Of course, you don't have main similar to your, C program or the Java program. So straight away it starts with the first statement in Python. Of course, if you want, you can have main. There's no problem at all. But without main also we can write. The first statement is executed, the assignment. Then the next statement, print x. Then the next statement, incrementation of x. Then that value of x will be displayed again. This is how the statement by statement, one after the other, the set of statements would be executed in case of the sequential structure. So we call this a sequential flow of execution because so your statements are executed in a sequence. Is it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree with me? Yes, right? So first statement, second statement, third statement, if you have the next statement, next statement, next statement, so on and so forth. So if you have a number of statements, all the statements will be executed till the last statement. So if in that order, if your statements are executed, then we call that a sequential flow of execution. But in cases, there is a requirement like you don't need to execute every statement. Maybe I want to skip this statement. So if the students are in CSC branch, then my electives would be different or my set of subjects would be different. I offer different set of subjects, right? If the student have taken ECE branch, then I need to offer different set of subjects. Is it not? If the student opts for mechanical branch, then I need to opt a different set of courses. Even among the CSE also, if the students opt for, one of the stream, then I need to offer so and so programs, courses. If they opt for a different stream, that's how your sometimes you may need to alter the flow of execution in your program. Is it not? That's how we do, right? So in that case, how do we change the or alter the sequential flow of execution is with the help of the control structures. So for that, you can use the control structures, and to alter the control sequence of execution, you can use either the conditional control structures or the loop control structures. The conditional control structures means, so you check the condition, depending on the condition is true or false. So your control will be transferred to either of the options. Maybe one or more options also you can have. So either to this branch or to this branch you can jump, and only that set of statements can be executed. Maybe, so this is the better example. So here you can see, so if this condition is true, then this set of statements will be executed. So if it is false, say for example, again I'm checking the condition. If this is true, then this set of statements. Otherwise, this set of statements, like that, right? So in case of the conditional control structure, depending on the condition is true or false, we'll be selecting any one of the set of statements and we'll be executing that. So they are called as the conditional control structures. And for the conditional control structures, we have if statement, elif statement, else statement. So these are the keywords that are supported for the conditional control structures, or even you can call them as a selection control structures. Why do you call them as selection control structures? You are selecting only one path. That's why you are calling them as selection control structures. These control structures are used to select any one of the paths. Say for example here, if this is true, then I'm executing this. If this is not, if this condition is true, then I'm selecting this. If this is true, then I'm selecting this. If this is true, then I'm selecting this, right? So like that, so you are selecting one of the set of statements. That's why they are called as selection or the conditional control structures. And sometimes, you know, I may need to repeat the set of statements for some number of times. Say for example, I'm working with a student project, and for every student, I need to display their result. So I have a function which displays the result of the students, and for every student, I need to repeat that operation, right? So in that case, I need to repeat. Give me 1 second. Yeah, hello. So if in that case, you may need to repeat the same set of statements for some number of times, or till the condition is satisfied. So that's why they are called as the loop control structures. So you have different control structures called conditional control structures and the loop control structures, or you can even call them as iterative control structures, because you are iterating some process for certain number of times. Okay. There is no sound on the other side. So some people feel even the control structures are also difficult. That's why I'm going into the, you know, ground level. I'm teaching this. So that is how you can use the control structures. So let's see. So what are the different control structures that are possible? The sequential control structures. That is, if you don't use any alteration in the control structure, that's called as sequential control structure, where, you know, your statements are executed in sequential order, maybe something like this. Sequential control structure. The first statement, second statement, third statement, one after the other only, they will be executed. So that structure is called as sequential structure. Then the second structure is selection or conditional control structures. So in case of this, so you are selecting one of the path or one of the set of statements to be executed, and to support that you have if else, or even you have if, elif, else. So any of these three you can choose to use the selection or the conditional control structures. And the next set of control structures are repetition or iterative control structures, where you may need to repeat the same set of statements for some number of times or till some condition is satisfied. And for that you can use either the while or the for. So any of these two you can use to create the repetition or the iterative control structures, right? So let's start with the if. How do we use if control structure in Python? So of course, I'll not be explaining much of the, you know, how this is used, but at least for the first time, let me explain the syntax. So if you observe now, in case of Python, this is the general form of the if control structure. So if followed by your expression, and it should be followed by your colon, so by a colon, and in the next, whatever the set of statements that are to be executed, and you had to give an indentation. If you observe now, I'm leaving some space. Remember, always it has to be left. Otherwise, it generates a syntax error. What is the reason for that? Python demands, Python demands indentation. So there is nothing like it's an optional to have the indentation. It's a must to have the indentation. So you should leave some set of spaces, and then you can write these set of statements that you want to execute. So if the expression is true, then these set of statements will be executed. So if the condition is not true, then what happens? These statements will not be executed, right? So if this condition is true, then only these statements will be executed. When this condition is false, then these statements will not be executed, and whatever is there after this condition, so those statements will be executed. So that's how this if expression or if control structure works. Fine. Always the expression you are writing, so usually it will be a Boolean expression. It should result in a Boolean value, true or false value. Now let's have this set of statements: A equal to 1, B equal to 0. So if A, can I write this? Is it valid to have if A? Because A is a 1 and B is a 0. So it requires a Boolean value, right? If condition. Can I use 1 and 0? Is it valid to have that? Why? Why is it valid? Tell me that.
Because generally, if we give 1, it takes as true moment.
Yeah, why? So except 0, empty parenthesis, none, false. The rest of the things are true, are considered as true in Python. Do you remember in yesterday's class we have discussed that. There are only few values that can be considered as false. A 0, any 0 or a none value, a false value, an empty parenthesis, only those values are treated as false, and the remaining values are treated as true only. So that's why if I say if A, is it a true or false? If A is true or false? True. So if this is true, then the statement will be executed or not? Executed, right? So if A, so this will be executed. So because this condition is true, it will be. And now if not B, tell me that. If not B, what is there in B?
0.
0. What is not B?
1.
Not B is 1. So is it true or false?
True.
False.
True. True, yeah. Because the B is 0, not B is 0 means false, but not false means it's true, right? Not B. So it results in true. Because this is true, will it be executed now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that will be executed. Now let's take this. If A and B, what is A?
True.
1. I mean,
1.
1.
A is 1. Is it true or false?
True.
True. What about B? B is 0. True or false? False. So true and false. True and false.
False.
Then one condition is false also, it will be false. So this is false. So will it be executed now or not?
No.
Yeah. Now let's check this. Tell me about this.
true or false? It is true. So it
True
will
or
be
false? Yeah. Because it's an OR expression, right? So the combination is OR. So it leads to a true value, and this will be executed. Yeah. Now let's see. So let's correct the errors in this, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, I'm typing this. You tell me, you correct me if I make any mistakes, okay? Yeah, first of all, let's check whether the indentation is correct or not. Please tell me whether the indentation is correct or wrong.
No, ma'am.
print statements and
Third
Huh?
statement.
Third statement. I'm leaving 2 spaces. Here I'm leaving 4 spaces.
Yes,
Here I'm
ma'am.
leaving only 1 space.
1
Here I'm
space.
leaving 5
4.
spaces. Yeah, tell me, is it correct or not?
No,
Tell me
false.
that.
no.
False?
Mm.
How many of you say it's false? How many of you say it's correct?
False.
False.
False. False means it's a problem,
Wrong.
right?
Intention.
Okay. Any other syntax error in this? Of course. Okay. We assume that that's a mistake. Any other error? So always version 3 we are using, right? So it should be enclosed in braces. The print statement should be enclosed in braces. Otherwise, it results in this. Or otherwise, let's see that if you want to know. Let's save this. Where are we storing? Desktop, Josna, Python. Yeah, this is if sample. See, invalid character in identifier. I think some problem with copy paste. Oh, everywhere it's a problem only. Colon. Yeah, see, missing parenthesis and call to print. So it shows a syntax error if the parentheses are missing with print. Okay, and now, so you feel that this indentation is wrong, right? It's a syntax error, it leads to an error. Let's check that. So how many of you say that it's correct? It can be used like this. None, but I say it's fine. It's not an error. Invalid character and identifier, where is it? See, it's executing fine. Can you tell me why it's not an error? Because
if we have more statements in the if, it should be
yes.
same indentation.
Exactly, exactly. If I have one more statement, no? So here you can check if you want. If I have one more statement in the same if condition, then maybe I need to use a, so these two statements, they are part of this if, right? So they should follow the same indentation. If I leave it like this, then it's a mistake. See now, unexpected indent, right? It's showing that location also. So they should start with the same location. So inside the same block, it should be having the same. Otherwise, it can be. Is it okay? So A is true. So this is just for checking. See, A is true. It's because it's true, it is executing. Then A, if not B, so it is also true. So B is false. It's saying if A and B, this is false, so this is not executed. So if A or B, this is true, so this is executed. Clear? How the if condition executes? Now let's write a meaningful program. So what do you want me to write? Checking whether the given number is, positive, negative. The same old example we'll start with. Enter a number. So we'll read the value from keyboard. So which function you can use to read a value from keyboard?
Input.
Input function. So enter a number, and now
Int.
yeah. Why do you need to use?
So because input function
Change
for
from
it is
string to
takes
integer.
strings.
Why? Now I just want to display the value. Okay, x value is comma x. Now in this case, is it fine if I do this? This is my program, that's all. Now in this program, if I do this, so is it okay?
Okay, it will print.
Type will be of string, ma'am.
Huh? Yeah, type will be of string, but I am not doing any arithmetic operation. So it's fine, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you don't do any, arithmetic operations, then it will not be a problem. Remember that. It's not like it's mandatory to convert. Depending on your program, you need to decide whether you need to convert that to integer or not. So now I'm going to write a program to check whether the number is positive or not. So if this x value is greater than 0, positive means greater than 0, right? So because I want to check this number is positive or not. So if it is positive, then x value is positive. And that x value I'm displaying. So that's all I want to write, because we just discussed about, only the if condition. So x value is positive and this is x value, right? So this is how you can use the if condition. But I want to check whether this then print. Let's see this also. Program end. Now let's see. So I'm entering a number, maybe 100. Okay. So x value is positive 100, the program end. So here if you observe this condition is true, then the statement is executing, and after this statement is completed, that is after the if block, then then again, then after whatever is followed after the if block, so this statement will be executed. Now let's change the, okay. So change the input. I am giving the input as -10. Okay, what do you expect the output?
The program
Output
end.
of this. Yeah, the program end, right? Yes. So it first checks the condition x greater than 0. So is it true or false? It's false.
False.
It's false. So this statement will not be executed. So that is, whatever the statement that is inside your if condition, so that statements will not be executed. But after that, those statements will be executed as it is. Remember that. It doesn't mean that nothing will be executed after this. Okay. So those who have that misconception, just to have an idea. Now let me continue this program. So our program is not displaying anything. So x value is, if it is positive, then it is displaying positive. If it is negative also, I want to display the number is negative, then I want to end the program. How do I do that? So you have a control structure else. So if you want to have that part also, you can add that, but the x value is negative, right? And your x value. Fine, that's how you can have the else block. So let's give -10. Oh, sorry. -10. -10 is my input. Now, what is the expected output?
X value is
X
negative.
value is negative.
The
The program
program
end.
Next to the program end. Good. X value is negative, the program end. Now let's give the input as +100. Then
X value is positive.
X value is positive and
The program
the
end.
program end, right?
And
So that's how you can use the if and else structure. So if this condition is true, then this statement is executing. If this condition is false, so whatever this condition that is false, then you are executing, this statement will be executed. So is there any chance of executing both the statements at any point in time? So both the statements are executed, or only one set of statements will be executed in if else?
Only one.
Only one, right? So now, is the name is satisfied with this? Is the name meaningful? Selection control structure. This is the control structure which alters the sequence of execution. So if there is no if else block, then how the statements will be executed? So this statement, this statement, this statement, one after the other, right? Because you are you are altering the sequence of execution in your program. How you are altering? Depending on this condition, then do this. If this condition is not true, then do this, right? That's how you're executing. Say, for example, I'm processing the student data. In that case, if the student is belonging to the CSE department, then his set of courses would be maybe data structures, design and analysis of algorithms, operating systems, computer networks, Python programming, C programming, Java programming, so on and so forth, right? Or otherwise, if he is belonging to the other branch, then his set of courses would be something else. To indicate that, I can use if else. Agree?
Yes,
Is the
ma'am.
name meaningful? The selection control structure. You are selecting between this option or this option. That's why they are called as selection control structures or conditional control structures. And now in this case, I have only two options, either this or this. So let's continue this and have one more condition also. Elif, I think I have explained all this, right? If x is equal to 0 or x is positive means what? Greater, huh? Yeah. If it is greater than 0, then it is positive. If it is less than 0, elif x less than 0, then it's negative.
Else 0.
Else, it's 0.
Print x is 0.
X value is 0. Let's write that. Then the program ends. Now let's see. So number will start with 0. Number is 0. So here it starts with this. So the first, this condition will be tested. X is greater than 0. Is it true?
False.
False.
False. So then it checks this condition. Is it true?
False.
False. So these two are false. And so here there is no condition to be tested. So if these two are false, then this block will be executed. The x value is 0, and whatever the x value you are displaying, that the program ends. Okay. And of course, already you have seen, right? So these are, very, very basic things. Everyone should understand this. So here, because X value is positive, it's executing this. So here also you can observe that among these three, I have three different blocks. So in the same if else structure, so I have this as one block, and this is the other block, and this is the other block, right? And how many blocks can be executed at any point in time among these three blocks?
Only one.
Only one block. That's how the selection structures execute, remember, not more than that. At any point in time in the selection or the conditional control structures, only one of them will be executed. Now, do you understand how if, elif, else structure can be used?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, yeah. Now, let's see, this is the general expression, general syntax for your if else structure. If the condition, the expression, so if this expression is true, then these statements will be executed. If the condition is false, then these statements will be executed. So we have already seen the example. And if elif also, so if you want to have, more than one, more than two blocks, if you want to have, then you can use elif. So with elif, you can write like this. So if the condition expression is evaluated to true, then the statement elif. So if this is false, then it comes to this. This condition will be tested. If this is true, then this will be executed. If that is also false, then it comes and executes this set of statements. So this is an example for you. So then the next one is nested if. So you can have one if inside the other. It's called as nested if control structure. So of course you can have this nested if to any number of levels. So here we have an example. So if this condition is true, then I have again. So if you observe now, this if else is part of this if condition alone, right? And that kind of control structure is called as nested control structure. So one if inside the one if else inside the other if. So that is how you can do. You can nest the if conditions. And so there is another way of writing the if control structure. So this type of statement is usually used in case of the functions. When you write the functions, usually we write this. We don't use it now. So just to make you understand, so I'll just explain. But while discussing functions, we can see this kind of statement. How you can use this is, so if x is less than 0, then return this. Otherwise, return this. Let's see that. But this cannot be written directly actually. Maybe in the context of you don't know about the functions, right, as of now. So just remember, so how this kind of if else statement. So instead of writing multiple statements, you can write everything in a single line. So here it is like if your condition should come here, and if this condition is true, then this value will be returned. And if the condition is false, then whatever is there in the else block, that will be returned. And this can be part of your function. And similarly, another example I have. So if delta is 0, then it returns a string hold. So if otherwise, if that is false, then it returns a cell. Fine. So that's how you can use the another form of if statement. This is part of your functions only. Straight away, you cannot use it, remember. Yeah, now let's proceed with the loop control structures or the iterative control structures. Say, for example, I want to return something for a certain number of times. So in that case, how do I do that? So you can use the while control structure or the for control structure. So let's start with while. So the general form of while is this. So here you can observe the while control structure. While the expression is first evaluated, if the condition is true, then these statements will be executed. And then again, the condition will be after execution of these statements, again, this expression will be tested. If that is true, then again, these statements. As long as this is true, the condition is true, these statements will be repeated. And whenever this expression is evaluated to false, then these statements will not be executed and the statements that follow this will be executed. And here we have an example which is used to display the first three integer numbers. And let's write a program for that. So maybe from today onwards, you can start writing your programs. So you can practice programs basically. Let's see. Maybe X. We'll read X. How do you read X? Maybe you can prompt and put enter a value. So I have X value. And so from X to 0, I want to display every value. So that's a program for, or from 1 to n, let's take this value as n. So 1 to n, I want to display every value. That's what I'm going to write a program for. I equal to 0. Hello, you can prompt me. Is it time to leave? Yeah, I'll leave you after this program. Hello.
Ma'am.
While I is less than or equal to n. So you should have this colon, always remember. With any control structure, you should have this colon symbol, and after this you should follow the indentation. So I'm writing a program to display the values from 0 to n. So the condition is 0 less than or equal to n. So this is true then. What do you want to display? I value, because every value you want to display, and after this you just increment I value, I equal to I plus 1. Okay, and after this I want to display print program end, something like this. Oh, sorry. So enter a value, I'm giving 10. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how does it execute? So it starts with 0. I value is initially 0, right? So it reads a number first. I'm entering 10 value, then I value is initialized with 0. Then 0 is less than or equal to 10. Because it's true, it enters and displays 0, and I value is incremented. And I value now becomes 1. So 1 less than or equal to 10, it's true. So then I value is displayed as 1. So on and so forth, it displays all the values until 10. And when I value gets 10, 10 less than or equal to 10 is true. Then I value is displayed, I becomes 11. So 11 less than or equal to 10, it's false. So you are coming out of this loop, and whenever the condition is false, then the statement that is after this while statement will be executed. That's how this statement will be executed. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you try writing a program the same way, but I want all the values to be displayed in a single line. So you try that, and you can try all the, yeah, maybe I'll give you an assignment. Yeah, take this assignment and solve it. Write a program to find biggest among 3 numbers. Three given numbers. You should read values from keyboard. Okay, remember that. Then display all even numbers. Then third one, find sum of all odd numbers. Then find whether the given number is prime or not. And then display all prime numbers up to n, up to given n. Fine. So you take these 5 questions as an assignment and try to solve. Yeah, take this assignment. So now shall we stop?